We're gonna be talking on video. You always need a little bit of chapstick, right? All right, let's do it. Hey everyone, Q Manning here, General Manager and Founder of Rocksauce Studios. What is Rocksauce? We are a digital innovation and design agency located in Austin, Texas. Our job is to help our clients, big or small, figure out great solutions to really complex and sometimes insurmountable problems. We have a lot of tools that we use to do that. And one that I talk about frequently is this concept of a design sprint, in which you come in and spend a whole week planning out a solution to a problem and then testing it with users. But one thing I haven't talked about is how does your team get ready for the design sprint? So that's what I'm going to answer on this week's Q&A. First, you want to make sure that you identify who all the stakeholders are who need to be involved in the design sprint. Usually between 5 and 10 people, and these are people who have a vested interest in the outcome of the design sprint. If the person's not going to be affected by the answer, then they may not need to be involved in the room. And these are people throughout the entire chain of command on the product. Say it's something that allows people to get a job done out in the field. You want the individual who does the job out in the field. You want their supervisor. Maybe you want the next supervisor up. Maybe you want the people who answers trouble tickets for those out in the field to help solve their problems. You want a big cross section. Then you want to identify who the decider is in the room. And yes, this is sort of like the George W. Bush, I'm the decider and I make the decisions kind of thing. Because that person will be breaking ties. That person is going to look at all the solutions that have come up and say, I like this, don't like that, I do like this one. What if you merge these two together and make the path forward? They're also going to be the champion that's going to go out into the organization and really push this idea and make sure that the higher ups who can make even bigger decisions understand the importance of the solutions you've come up with. Now, if you want to make this a success, you need to know what the problem is. So that's number 2, is you've got to study up. Everybody in the group needs to make sure you understand the problem, you understand what's been tried in the past so you don't repeat those mistakes, and why those things didn't work. Then you always want to make sure that you come in with an open mind. Now, you probably have been dealing with this problem for a while, otherwise you wouldn't be a stakeholder, would you? As a stakeholder, you probably have some ideas in your head as to what the right solution would be to solve it. Having an open mind means when you come into the room, you recognize that your solution may not be the right solution, and the solve that you thought was going to happen may not be there. That you need to listen to the collective wisdom of everybody in the room and follow their advice moving forward. Now, you can't do that without agreements. And that's the final thing you need to make sure you have before you ever start. Before you come, make sure you've already agreed on a few key things. Who the decider is, what's going to happen in the actual meeting, that we're going to all be open-minded and we're not going to let anyone steamroll the rest of the group. We're going to pay attention to the feedback we get from users at the end of the whole process, because otherwise, why are we doing this situation? And, of course, you want to have some agreements on what your next steps may be. You don't know if the design sprint is going to be a success and the solution you come up with will solve the problem for the users, but if you have agreements in place that if it's positive, we do this, if it's negative, we do this, and if it's ambiguous, we do this, before you ever enter the room, then you're going to be able to much easier get the job done while you're talking amongst each other, and you're going to have direct action items afterwards that are going to make sure that you haven't wasted your time and you can really make that design sprint worthwhile. Of course, if you want to get a design sprint going, you know what to do. You can give us a call, you can shoot us an email. Rocksauce Studios is here to help. Design, UX, branding, just hanging out and chatting, maybe having some coffee, whatever you want. Just get in touch with us. With that, my name is Q Manning. This has been another episode of Q and Answers, and I'll see you next time. Adios.